Nobody thought this night would matter. Not the producers setting up the desk, not the camera crew testing the lights, not the league executives half watching from their phones. To them, it was just another broadcast, another crossover moment, another nice little feature. Bring the rookie on, let her talk, smile for the camera, then move on. That's all it was supposed to be. Simple, safe, forgettable. Instead, it turned into the night everything shifted. By the end of those 2 hours, something felt wrong. Not loud wrong, but quiet wrong. The kind of wrong you only feel after it's already too late to fix. Phones buzzed. Group chats lit up. Executives whispered like someone had just leaked a secret. Somehow, without anyone planning it, Caitlin Clark didn't look like a guest. She looked like the main event, and that's exactly what scared them. Because leagues survive on control. Control the schedule, control the spotlight, control who becomes famous. But what happens when someone skips the system completely? What happens when a player doesn't wait their turn? That's where this story begins. The broadcast started normal. Highlights rolling, crowd noise humming, analysts laughing. Then the host casually said it. Joining us tonight, Caitlin Clark. No build-up, no hype music, just a sentence. But the second the camera cut to her, something changed. You could feel it instantly. The energy tightened like everyone suddenly sat up straighter. She didn't look nervous, didn't look overwhelmed, didn't look like someone grateful to be there. She looked calm, too calm, like she'd done this 100 times before. And that was weird, because rookies aren't supposed to look like that. Rookies are supposed to smile too much, talk too fast, act excited. She didn't. She leaned back and started breaking down plays like a veteran.
Talked about how I think it was when Luka was back on the Mavericks, they in a way played, faster and more together, or the ball popped more. I think that's what it was. The ball moved more without Luka out there. So Clark referencing Luka with some of the stuff around her and Stephanie White, and the butting heads narratives from last year will be amusing. But, again, Caitlin Clark just playing basketball is important.
She was calling out defensive mistakes before the replay even showed them, correcting former NBA players on live television like it was nothing. That's when viewers noticed, not because of hype, but because of authority. She sounded like the smartest person at the table. And that's dangerous, because authority isn't given, it's taken. Within minutes, social media started moving. Clips spreading, people rewinding, comments flying. Wait! She's actually better than half these analysts. How is she this comfortable? Why does she look like she owns the show? The conversation wasn't about the game anymore. It was about her. There was no question. She had become the most iconic figure in basketball, not just in the women's game, but possibly in the sport overall. While the WNBA media hesitated to say it, the NBA and its media outlets weren't afraid to acknowledge it. They recognized her presence at events beyond basketball and spoke openly about her impact. They were always talking about her. And that's when something subtle happened. The broadcast stopped feeling like an NBA show featuring a guest and started feeling like her show, featuring everyone else. That's a problem, because when the guest becomes the attraction, control disappears. Inside the WNBA offices, phones started buzzing. Staff texted each other. Are you watching this? Since when is she on NBC? Who approved this? Nobody knew because nobody expected it. They thought they had time to manage her exposure, protect the brand, keep everything inside the league bubble. But NBC Sports didn't wait. They didn't ask permission. They just called, signed, booked, done. Suddenly, the biggest stage in basketball media belonged to her, not the league. Her. Then came the moment nobody could ignore. The feed cut live to Madison Square Garden. Packed arena, NBA night, bright lights, history everywhere, and the crowd wasn't chanting for the home team. They weren't chanting for stars. They were chanting one name, Caitlin. Caitlin. Caitlin inside Madison Square Garden for a WNBA rookie. That's not normal. That's not marketing. That's takeover. And takeover terrifies people in charge, because when fans choose a player over the brand loses power.
I don't think we're going to see anything too different in that regard, because I guess it's the way things are in this league. And at least the people outside the league aren't being into like stupidly dumb. Like they used to be. Like people in the media were scared to be pro Caitlin Clark 2 years ago because you were deemed as being problematic if you didn't think Caitlin Clark would actually, in fact, shouldn't have been the number one overall pick, and all of this stuff. Like if you weren't 100% anti Caitlin Clark, there was something wrong with you. At least the general media aren't necessarily like that anymore. The WNBA media absolutely are. Like we've still the phrase "the Fever are better without Caitlin Clark" is one that was used by commentators. Like, to be fair, at least no one's gone full Cheryl Swoops. The fact Elle Duncan apologizing to Cheryl Swoops is still one of the craziest things. So basically, Elle Duncan said that Cheryl Swoops said Katie Lou Samuelson was more important to the Fever than Caitlin Clark. And that's what Elle Duncan reported that Cheryl Swoops said. Cheryl Swoops did not say that. Cheryl Swoops, in fact, said that implied that Katie Lou Samuelson and Caitlin Clark were of equal importance to the Indiana Fever.
That's when the panic quietly started. Ratings reports came in. Segments with Clark were way up, engagement exploding, shares everywhere. Meanwhile, regular games stayed flat, silent, normal. That contrast hurt because it exposed something ugly. She wasn't riding the league's popularity. The league was riding hers. Backwards. Dangerous. Veterans noticed, too. Years of grinding, empty seats, low pay, and then one rookie got more national attention in 2 hours than they had in a decade. It didn't feel inspiring. It felt threatening. Whispers started. They're forcing her. This is too much. It's just hype. But deep down, everyone knew it wasn't hype. It was gravity. Everything, media, sponsors, fans, networks, was pulling toward her. You can't fight gravity. Then came the meeting. Doors closed. Lights dim. Kathy Engelbert at the head of the table. No smiles, no small talk, just numbers on screens. Clark everywhere, trending everywhere, outside their control. And finally, someone said it.
Is saying she's confident a CBA will get done. Then there were some other topics hit up on the broadcast as well, including her wanting to play at Madison Square Garden. That is where she was broadcasting from, the Knicks and the Lakers. It is a great arena. I've spent a lot of time in the Garden.
Lakers and the Knicks taking center stage here for the 302nd overall meeting. And for the first time ever, we've got basketball night in America, the first Sunday in February. And we're joined by our special correspondent. Welcome to the team, Caitlin Clark. Yes.
First time in MSG for a Knicks game, so it's pretty cool.
I know, it's our first Knicks game, first time feeling the atmosphere. We got to get you to play on this court one day.
We have to talk to Adam about that.
Can we make it mellow? Honestly, if there's someone
even if it's a preseason game, we got to get it done. I don't think the Liberty will want to move a game over here, but we'll play anybody. It'll be fun.
Yeah. How could you describe maybe the atmosphere your first time in it?
Well, I think as a player, like this is kind of when you feel the atmosphere the most is when you're out on the court warming up. So, I mean, there's just a different type of buzz. And obviously when LeBron comes to town, it's probably really different. But, Knicks fans are crazy and I love it. I love people that are passionate about basketball. So it's pretty incredible.
So, Caitlin Clark saying she wants a Fever game at Madison Square Garden. That would be nice, right? That would be an event. But I think Fever fans just want to see Caitlin Clark in a game, period. They just want to see a WNBA season. They just want to.
What if she doesn't need us anymore? Silence. Because that sentence changed everything. If she doesn't need the league loses leverage. Contracts mean less. Rules mean less. Power shifts. And once power shifts, you don't get it back. That's a nightmare. Not that she's popular, not that she's famous, but that she's independent. Independent stars don't ask permission. They choose. They choose networks. They choose platforms. They choose deals. And suddenly, the league isn't leading, they're chasing. By the end of the week, one truth became impossible to hide.
Next year. Yes, they are still mega superstars and they will still be able to do commercials and all of these things. But I wish that she was kind of with a dog agent like Clutch, somebody who just goes to war for their clients. And I feel like that would have been a perfect pairing. I also think that the Nike deal, there's no way Clutch would have just signed off on a $24 million 8-year deal with Nike for a player like Caitlin Clark. I feel like there's just no way. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if she signed with her agent early on, but can we start a petition to get her to Clutch? Because I feel like something.
This wasn't a debut. This wasn't a segment. This wasn't a cute crossover. This was the moment Caitlin Clark stepped onto a bigger stage and never looked back. And the scariest part? It looked easy, like she'd been ready for this the whole time, like the league was the one playing catch-up, not her. When someone makes history look easy, that's when you know the system just broke. You can't shrink some of the world just made bigger. You can't put that spotlight back in a box. You can't tell fans to look away. Once they choose a star, they follow that star anywhere. Which means the question isn't what just happened. It's what happens next. Because if this was only night one, nobody inside that office is ready for night two. And that's the part nobody wants to admit. The league isn't scared of losing games. They're scared of losing her. Because if she walks too far ahead, they may never catch up. And when the face of your future stops waiting for you, that's when you realize something terrifying. You don't control the story anymore.